As you know, I have all of my guests finish the prompt, I think AI is. This allows us to kind of set the stage. I know that you do a lot of AI just from our conversations together, so I'm curious to hear what your perspective is here.
I think AI is best tool to master your craft.
All right, welcome back to another episode of the Brainiac Blueprint, where we discuss the intersection of AI and how it impacts business and the world around us with our esteemed guests. I'm Kyle Lambert, your host, founder of Left Brain AI and Action Hero Marketing. In today's episode, we discuss how AI and tech can help real estate agents bring back the control online and how they're showing up. With that being said, today's Brainiac is Martin Burrow. Welcome to the show, Martin. How are you?
Hey, doing great. Thank you for having me.
Awesome. So, Martin, I know I always Americanize your name. How do you pronounce your name?
Yeah, but borrow it's fine.
Burrow. Okay. And just
Yeah.
Martin, or is there a flair I should be adding in there normally?
No, no,
Uh,
just Americanized.
nice, nice, perfect. Well, cool. So I know you are, a huge part of the leadership team at AIRestate. We met a couple years ago. We've been partnered up in a bunch of different projects, and I think we're linked up and going to be working on a bunch of stuff moving forward. So would love if you can kind of give an intro about who you are, who AIRestate is, what problem you guys are solving, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah, for sure. So, like you say, I'm Martin, and the last few years I took over the mission to trying to bring better home discovery experience online for real estate agent and brokerage.
Yeah, I know that has changed a lot since we've been partnered. The product has changed. What's the path moving forward, and what are you offering now to everybody?
Yeah, I mean the product didn't really change. It's more like every business, we try to figure it out along the way.
Hmm.
To tell you a bit my story, we started A State because we had a problem. I mean, I move a lot the last few years, and every time I move from a new city or even a new country, you have the excitement of your new life, the excitement of a new job, the excitement of the new friends you will meet, the new coffee shop you will discover, and how you will build your life around this. But it's immediately followed by the frustration, and it's the same problem everywhere. The mega platform, it's overcrowded. You don't really know where to go. There is many solutions. And what I realize is if you have a great agent or a great brokerage that they can take care of you and they can really help you having a great experience finding your home. But there is a middle on the web, or you want a home and you need to find your agent. And the middle is broken for me. So from there, I say, okay, what can we do? If we create a new competitor like Zillow or Homes.com, well, we're just going to do the same thing as they done. And my reflection was agent has the value, agent knows the client, and agent know how to take care of a relationship in finding a home. And I think we need to build tools for them, not building another mega platform. And in it where AIRestate mission is how do we think and how we design home discovery experience who are very well optimized for the clients, for the home seeker, but who is built for the agent and not, taking advantage of agent data. Like how we empower the agent for them to give a best client experience. So it was a bit our mission. And like you said, over the years, at the beginning, we start with big clients because it was easy to develop and make money. And now, with the advancement of AI and our technology who is more mature, we can propose this for everyone. And so what agent plan, and we have a free plan. So everybody can use our platform and we can offer anyone in.
We heard you for the most part there, but there's some glitchiness. Continuing our conversation, as you know, I have all of my guests finish the prompt, I think AI is. This allows us to kind of set the stage. I know that you do a lot of AI just from our conversations together, so I'm curious to hear what your perspective is here.
Yes. So I start with I think AI is, right?
Yes.
So I think AI is best tool to master your craft. And let me explain. So I think the problem right now, especially for people who are not fully in tech like us, is AI can do absolutely everything.
Hmm.
And it can be a bit overwhelming. And when you start using AI, you just have a message box, so you can write absolutely anything you want. And it can be a bit confusing and you have so many choice that at the end the result is very random, I feel. And why I say AI is the best tool to master your craft is because I think we all have the same problem. We don't have enough time during the day. We don't have enough skilled people around us, right? I would like to hire more A player around me, but we all have a limited budget. And I think if you see AI as you can do everything you want, and AI will help you to get there, it's an amazing tool to have. And but this require a lot of focus and a lot of effort. So to give you a concrete example, I think AI is the best at writing, for sure. But the problem is right now, if you just ask AI to write your email, the result will be pretty bad. And I think you know this more than anyone. We receive an amount of spam or poorly written email right now. It's absolutely
Yep.
insane. And what's happened is actually people who are bad at doing something are even more terrible with AI because they never took 2 seconds or 1 minute or 10 minutes to understand what is a good cold email.
Yep.
And actually, a good cold email take a lot of time to think and a lot of time to find a good angle. And
Hmm.
right now, most people say, oh, AI can do it for me. So they just do it in 20 seconds without thinking. And what I think it's for this, I go back on my original point. How do you master your craft? Is if you never had time to do cold email and you see AI as an opportunity to do cold email, well, I think you need to spend a few hours to learn what is a good cold email. And AI can help you. You can tell AI, show me 100 ways to do a bad cold message, and you understand
Hmm.
what is bad. And after you can say, okay, now show me what is a good email and please reverse engineering why do you think this is good? And by doing this process and learning by yourself, you will be able to ask AI to do it for you. But if you don't know, you still don't know, and AI will just give you a random result. I give you the text message because it's talking to everyone, but I think it's the same. So we are building software, and I think I see the same right now. Like everybody say, oh, now building software is very easy. So they just ask AI. But what's happened is we have a lot of software who look all the same, who are not very well thought in terms of experience and in terms of what do we bring to people's life. And so AI is kind of this reversing, right? It should be better, but right now what we see from AI, it's more slop or
Hmm.
literally more garbage from our daily life. And so if we all focus to say, okay, I'm very good at client relationship, and I will train my AI to not having 5 messages a day, but 100. It's 100% possible, but you need to have the right approach. So I think it's a way we, as tech industry, we need to train people to say, look, AI can do everything, but at the end, it's a middleman. AI will not start a project and AI will not finish a project. They will just do all the execution in the middle. If you're not a good manager for someone, if you don't know how to manage a sales team, for example, AI won't help you much. It will do random stuff, but random stuff fail most of it. And so I think it's our part not to be more AI, but to be more human. Understand what matters the most for our business and how AI help us to build it, not replace us.
I love that. That resonates so much. I love your point about mastering your craft. I have certainly been infusing it into, my marketing and my content, and I'll be the first to admit that you're right. It is easy to just be like AI, go do your thing, right?
Yeah,
And you kind of
yeah,
post what's out there, and then you see, once you start to refine and learn and use it better, it's like, wow, there is so much more that I can do. So now I'm about 2.5 years into my AI journey, and I truly feel invincible. Like I can make anything. But now I am starting to get into like designing software and everything like that that I don't necessarily know. And so it's like, all right, I have to take way more time and be way more focused on this kind of stuff to
yeah,
make sure it's right and I'm getting the right output. I mean, I've never coded in my life, but I'm coding a bunch of stuff at this point now, just trying to figure things out. So it's an
yeah.
interesting challenge.
Exactly. And I think it's also, I mean, a great opportunity because you can do everything you want, but the question you ask before you do anything have to be much more powerful, right? Because if you don't have all the problem we had before, it's like you can have a Steve Jobs think alike in your AI. So right now, if you have a strategy problem, well, you can have a great strategist with you who design your business with you. But if you don't ask a good question at the end, AI is kind of a mirror, right? So if you ask very detailed and really like you take time to think about what you try to build, I think it's super powerful. But it's also right now what we see it's kind of the opposite. It's like and I think we need to be careful as well. I really don't like the way all these big AI companies are talking right now because they are telling you, oh, you can replace people and they're gonna get lost job and what is basically untrue so far, right? AI didn't replace any job, real valuable job so far. But they try to make you believe to fundraise their research and to build more data centers. They try to make you believe the AI will do everything for you. You really need to do the hard work and even harder, especially for entrepreneur. Um, so yeah, it's a trick. Don't follow exactly what they say because their goal is to raise money right now. It's not to replace people. It's not. They just want to raise money. They don't want to even make money right now. We are not at this stage. So yes, like think how you do your business. I think it's the question everybody need to think right now.
That's a great point. You're right. They just want you using it and coming back and using it and coming back and using it and just making more money, integrating more, all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So I'm curious from you. You also lead a small but mighty team, a growing business. The temptation to AI everything is always there. Obviously, I go through the same thought process. So I'm curious, how do you decide? Okay, this is the right time for me to introduce AI or automation into this segment of my business. And when you make that decision, what is your process for doing so to make sure that you are getting the right output and effectively implementing what you want to put in there?
Yeah, yeah, it's an amazing question. And look, I think at the end, what advantage we have is I'm not telling you I'm building website for agent and brokerage. I'm telling you I want to improve the home discovery experience. And at the end, building a website was, oh, how we solve this problem is actually building a website is the best way. So from the day one of AIRestate, my goal was not to design website. It was how we make people experience of finding a more enjoyable front of a device, or front of a screen. So it was a big advantage because right now when we are thinking about something, we are not like copy what our competitor do. It's more like what is the best way to do every single things. And and so it's really like how we think about the problem right now. And AI will help actually will help me first at thinking. So if I say I use AI in a negative way a lot like this is my ID, give me 10 reasons why my ID is bad, and
Mm.
this allow me to challenge every business strategy I have. Like so we just launched AIRestate for agent, right? So we did a free model, and I say, okay, I have this idea of doing something free, give me all the bad reasons why I shouldn't do it, right? And he gave me like more than 10 reasons why it was a bad idea at our stage. And if you give context to AI, have access to your bank account and stuff like this. So the AI said
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
look, there is many bad reasons you shouldn't do this for free. But at the end, when you question every single point, the result, and the AI agree with me, it was like, okay, if we do it in the right way, it makes sense. So this is a strategic way to do it. It's like, how do you think better? And so this helped a lot. The second, I think, and we did this revolution after Opus was revealed. We get rid of our engineering team, most of it. Why? I will tell you the story. It's kind of a funny story. So we have like two engineers full time who were not part of the executive team, right? Or well, just here to doing code and bring the vision of what we are doing. And like I don't know if you work with developer like usual, but timing is you never really know and you don't know the choice they have to make and because
Hmm.
we are not coding directly, you cannot really know exactly what they are telling you is good or not. And so we have this feature I really want, and they say, oh, it will take 2 weeks. And I was like, look, it doesn't sound right. And I push a team for 1 week, like why it's not done, why we shouldn't do it, etc. And they didn't give me any good answer. Like human, we are not perfect, and here it was definitely not a perfect answer. So and very funny thing is like when we had this meeting, I saw they were texting each other and laughing instead of listening what we are trying to do.
Hmm.
And it made me upset, and I end the call, and I say to Claude, okay, teach me everything I need to know about this server side. So it was like doing a live feature on server side. So I say, explain me everything so there is actually three way to do, a live backend on the web. So, I say, okay, give me pro and con of every way. And I've been in this rabbit hole. It didn't take me that much time. In 20 minutes, I master the subject of what technical decision I have to make.
Hmm.
And after that, I say, okay, now give me the step by step on how should I do it. And I started to do it. Less than 4 hours later, all the features that took 1 week, was not delivered by two engineers, was done. And was done and tested and monitor, with guardrail and ready for production. And so the day after, when the team connect, I said, I don't understand why I could done this in like less than 4 hours when it's been 1 week. It's impossible for you to do it, right?
Yep. Yep.
Um, and so they say, so what do we do now? I say, well, do whatever you want. You have 1 day to prove that you have value for me. Because if I can do your 1 week work in 4 hours, even if I'm busy, I will make my schedule free to do it in 4 hours instead waiting 2 weeks for you. And they took the decision to do nothing. So instead of coming back and have ID and move on the next feature or test what I did or asking question on how I did it so fast, nothing. So we say, okay, I don't need you anymore. And now I'm not alone, but before I was doing the design, now I'm doing design and engineering. And my co-founder do most of the engineering before she was managing the team. Now we just do it ourselves, and we manage AI and we manage Claude. And what I'm gonna say, it's like 3 months we did this strategic shift, and we accomplish, I think, 2 years of feature we want to ship in 3 months, and it's
Wow.
in production, it's working, and the quality is from our standard, not like AI who just did
Yep.
something. It was we design every single pixel manually, and the AI just executes the technical part. So, I mean, I hope it's not a too long story, but to
No, that's
illustrate
great.
how we use it here, it's more like we want to do something and we know exactly what we want to build. And if AI can help, well, we use AI 100% of what is capable right now. But we are not, I mean, I don't have like reinvention of our business so far. It's just we going much cheaper, much faster, and we improve the quality on the way. So that's pretty much how we do it.
That's awesome. I mean, it really highlights the powerful nature of AI, especially when you're able to. I think there's a certain level of risk and uncomfortability you need to be able to accept when you jump into the coding,
Yeah,
part of it all. Again, like if you're not an engineer, you have no idea how to do this kind of stuff, and you really need to ask questions to master it, like you said. But then it just unlocks. So
yeah,
like, it's like Pandora's box, just this thing,
exactly,
so many ideas. It's like, oh my God, I can use it here. I can use it there. I can do this. I can do it. It really does make you feel like invincible and you can do almost anything.
exactly.
Yeah.
But one last point on this as well is how I think AI overcorrect a lot of problem we have in the tech industry. Because what we call engineer actually are just developers who are doing basic code. And the
Hmm.
mass of people who are doing this are insane because nobody know how to do it. And people who know how to do it don't have time to do everything, right?
Yep.
And I think, the engineer is overrated for most of people writing code. And so AI can replace them. But if you talk about a real engineer, like an engineer who work at SpaceX and who think about real problem and solve real problem, this is a real engineer. And it's what we need more and more. It's people who can think about the problem and solve it. And in that case, AI will just save us time and save us budget, but it won't replace the problem solving. You know what I mean? So I think it's an important point. It's not like magic. We get rid of our engineering teams, in 3 months. It was like how we take what we ask them to do to think about the code we are doing ourselves. And I take a lot of time doing architecture and investing in technology. It's not AI do it for me. I do a lot of the work I was expecting from my team. It's just the executions, like the middle part, who become very easy and fast.
I think to your point, kind of highlights the importance and the critical nature of certain soft skills that humans
Yeah.
have. You mentioned problem solving, being able to be somebody who can identify and solve a problem, some critical thinking, knowing what questions to ask. Does this look right? What am I missing? That kind of stuff. And just a can-do attitude, right? Just having like the attitude of like, okay, the tool is here for me to figure it out. Again, I'm thinking about a problem and a solution. How do I get from A to Z?
Yeah.
Please tell me. Let's talk through it. That kind of stuff. And it really has highlighted those soft skills for me as an entrepreneur. And it seems like the same thing for you guys over there at AIRestate. Is that fair?
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And it's never ending. Right now we are working on doing our video to present our product and to do
Hmm.
guides and tutorial. And I don't know how to do I opened 11 Lab and it's incredible.
Yeah.
But now how to do a good video, I have no idea. I never did that before.
I
And
also have an account. I'm in the same spot as you. I'm like, I want to figure it out, but I haven't done
yeah,
it yet. Yeah.
and so right now, I don't jump in AI and ask AI to do it. What I'm doing right now is I'm learning what is a good voiceover, where to pause, what word to use, how to do an intro to not lose people. I'm learning this. I'm not asking AI to do all my video. I'm learning this like this. I can ask AI to do it. And the same for music. I know the music I like. I don't play an instrument. I never, and right now I'm learning, okay, this instrument make you feel this. And so how do you use violin and how do you use, a crescendo? How do you start slow? And I'm learning all this technical stuff. Like this, I can prompt to do a very nice music for the video and to do a very nice voiceover. And AI helped me to learn, but AI don't do it for me. It's like
Yeah.
I do the heavy lifting here of learning about music and stuff I don't know about.
Has AI creeped into your personal life at all in terms of like you trying to introduce it into, I don't know, just things that you're doing outside of like AirEstate and your professional life?
Yeah, I set up a OpenClaw like a couple of months ago.
Okay.
And like you need to set up the personality of your AI.
Hmm.
And I ask a mix of multiple people, and I put Larry David in the mix.
Nice.
And the AI just literally refused to do anything and question absolutely everything. So
I love that. Okay.
it was absolutely amazing because for the first time I have like, wow, it's funny, it's a funny AI, but it was just questioning everything. I asked him to send an email and the AI was like, I don't think it's very useful. You shouldn't send this email.
I love that.
So, it's amazing, it's mostly funny part for me right now in my personal life. I don't think AI impact like the way I organize stuff or the way I think, but it's definitely like a funny way to approach and understand more how the world work.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy that it can just the fact that it can be funny, and crack a joke, like it's so weird to me. I'm still trying
Yeah,
to wrap my head around how I can have like personality, right? But I mean, for me, it is certainly I'm blurring the lines between professional and personal right now, and trying to kind of build everything together, and have my schedule be monitored and all this kind of stuff. So I think it's just gonna soon. I'm just gonna be a robot, just going everywhere where the agent tells me.
yeah, exactly. And at the end, it's what I say to our clients. A lot of our clients come to us and say, "Oh, do you have like a AI bot, or do you have?" And I say, "No, and I'm not interested in this. What I want is to give you more time for human interaction,
Hmm.
because I've been a client. I've been someone who are looking for a home, and I know I don't want to talk to a bot. I don't want to spend hours on the website. I want an agent to help me figure out what I need and guide me through this. And what I say right now, if an agent spend, you know, 80% of his time in his CRM, my goal is not to replace the human relation, is to make the 80% time spent on the CRM 10% of the time.
Yep,
You know what I mean? And so
definitely.
I think AI should first fix everything who doesn't work in your device and on your iPhone. Because if you think about it, iPhone is an incredible technology. It's been 20 years. Apple have spent billions of dollars making an incredible device, but most of people just spend time on doom scrolling, and we still use old software like Salesforce, who are like a nightmare to set up, a nightmare to to follow up. Let's make this part of the technology great with AI, and maybe after we're gonna improve our life. I don't know, but for me, just fix what's not working and get back your time on having great conversation with your clients, and
Hmm.
and and it's okay to lose 20 minutes with a client on the phone for talking about nothing. It's where you create human relationship, right? Um, and also, something after COVID, I think everybody is good at staying at home, watching Netflix. The thing is, like in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years, you won't remember all the time you spend on your phone or all the time you spend on your Netflix. But you always remember time you spend with clients and time
Yep.
you spend with your coworker. And so I think we need to get most of this, like let's fix technology who is not working well for human right now with AI, and let's focus again to, talking each other in restaurant instead of scrolling.
I couldn't agree more. The problem is, like you said, they invest billions of dollars to get us to be using these tools and just stay at home and watch Netflix and everything. So it gets a little addictive. But I think if you make a conscious effort and you focus on the right stuff, obviously these
Yeah,
tools can enrich your lives if you set them up in the right way. Um,
exactly.
You mentioned there about bots and how you guys aren't offering bots to agents or anything like that, or at least not yet. Have you played around, even if it's internally, with any kind of agentic AI or bots or anything like that to help you with specific processes or anything like that?
Yeah.
Or is this
So
still need to test it?
no, so we test it, and the next product we're going to launch is it's kind of a AI assistant for agent to ask AI to do stuff they can do right now with their back office. So, for example, they can text the AI and say, "Hey, I just sold this listing. Please go in my MLS and mark it as sold." So this, I think it's a great use of AI. It's very simple, and it's just instead of opening your back office, log in, click on 10 plays and mark a listing as sold, AI can solve it. And many use cases like this. Where I don't want an AI bot, it's what's facing the client.
Yep.
And I test some stuff, but I still, think uh, people are smart and it's nice to browse the web and to see picture, and it's like a bit like a Pinterest, see nice
Hmm.
picture and make the navigation very easy, the search very easy, the filter very nice. And it's where we focus on, because I think finding a home is not a conversation, it's a browsing experience. And it's where we focus on, and we refuse to set up a chatbot because I know the experience will be bad. Because no matter how much the AI is smart, the AI will not replace a human back and forth. Instead of do I want a view on a lake, or do I want a mountain view? This
Hmm.
kind of stuff. It's not no AI bot can solve it. But if you show good listing, a good map, and you let people browse, they will understand that, oh, for my budget, I think the lake view is overkill because I want a bigger place. And by a very nice experience, they can understand by themselves and do the decision by themselves, like, let's abandon the lake view and I want 3 bedroom instead of two.
Hmm.
It's more important for me. And this is just fixing what we have right now, doing a very nice experience of browsing the listing, browsing the inventory of all the property on the market right now.
I'll be doing some house shopping over the next couple months, maybe even to a year, depending on some things. I'll check it out. I'll let you know if there's any recommendations there or something like
Yeah,
that. We'll give AirState a
amazing.
shot. Um, so I think most agents are they're more or less entrepreneurs, right? They have their own business that they need to grow, and with that comes. You mentioned a CRM. You mentioned a website. There's listing tools. There's email. There's social media, scheduling, all this kind of stuff. A lot of them come with different systems. A lot of them take specific work. And I know this is part of the issue that you guys are trying to solve. But if an agent were to start thinking about their business and infusing AI into it, where do you think the average agent would get the biggest immediate impact by throwing AI into their processes? Is there one that stands out?
Yeah, yeah. I don't think I have an answer for that. I think it's really case by case.
Sure.
But my approach for an agent is what I recommend. I say, um, observe everything you're doing right now. Observe how you're doing email. Observe how you're doing follow-up. Inject this in AI and say, look, here is the last 100 follow-up email I did. Tell me where I can improve. Connect to my analytics and check, the success rate of this email. And from there, you will identify, okay, here I can improve, here I can optimize. Um, I don't need to write manual email because you teach AI how you like to write an email, not a generic email any AI can do, but teach AI how you write. We know some agent will start by something personal. AI should keep this if it's the way
Hmm.
it works. Um, and after, in terms of tools, like real tools agent can use, I think you need to be careful. Every software company do AI, but it's kind of the beginning of television. And I took this, I think, from Steve Jobs who says that. But when the TV arrived, people didn't create TV show immediately. What they did, they took the radio show and they make it on TV, you
Hmm.
know? And so TV was just radio with image. Um, and you need few years for the TV to find this format and really build truly original program. And I think it's where we are with AI. Right now, we just try to replace what we already have with AI. And I think the truly great AI use case for real estate is not there yet. I think you can optimize part of your process, but the next AI will be completely different. It's not something you can think about. It's not something
Yep.
you replace. It will be just something new. And we are not there yet. It's very early day in the age of AI. And you can see this across the industry, right? I think Apple just figured out right now how to use AI in your iPhone, right? And we talk about a company with unlimited talent, resources, money.
Yep.
They just figure it right now, and they don't even know if it's going to work. We need to wait a few more months to see if Siri AI will be working. So yeah, don't let's not, I think the press and the media and the people who raise money for AI try to pressure everybody to use AI. And yeah, it's important to be curious and to have fun with AI, but right now it's not gonna revolutionize anything for most of people overnight. Like take your time to learn, and you will see what when the next big thing will arrive, it will be obvious, and everybody will do it.
It's such a great point. I think it's going to constantly be changing, and the iteration of AI in a year is going to be different from what it is today, and different from what it is 5 years from now, and everything. But I think the biggest thing is making a concerted, like a repetitive effort
Yeah,
into using it, right? And then you'll start having those compounding. If it's just 1 hour a week, right? Like you'll start to see over time things are getting better and better, and then you'll be more set up for that new version that comes out, and you can
yeah,
get even more compounding effects and things like that.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think, you need to observe how the nature work, right? Lion learn how to chase by playing. And I think we need to do right now. You don't need to put pressure on yourself on how to use AI with your business, but spend 1 hour a day testing Claude and just doing funny stuff. I learn a lot by doing funny stuff with OpenClaw, and
Mm.
it make me understand. Oh, okay, it's what a session mean. It's how you manage context. And by playing with it, I learn a lot of stuff I apply weeks or months later in our engineering process. But I didn't do it to revolutionize my business. I did it because I saw OpenClaw was extremely funny to set up and to play with. So yeah, don't put pressure on yourself. Just have fun for now.
When you get started with something, whether it's fun or for business, I know you mentioned, like you asked some questions like, what is wrong with this idea? Like, how is it going to fail? That kind of stuff. I'm curious, do you have any other concepts that you include in most of your prompts? For example, and I talked to you about this at the Southeast Expo. When I start to something, I always say, what do you need from me to be successful? And, it will come back
Yeah.
and ask a bunch of questions. And that is revolutionized my use of Claude and AI. And I'm curious whether it's one or multiple, if you have specific steps, specific questions, specific concepts, anything like that that you use whenever you're working on a project with AI.
Well, I think in Claude you can have a default prompt on
Yep.
top of everything, and I think mine is set up on something like every time I ask you something, question every assumption.
Okay.
And this one is already amazing because most of the time he's wrong most of the time in the because most of the time I already know what I want, but at least it make me think few seconds before to continue in this idea and say like, oh, are you sure you start this new feature? Like you don't really need it actually, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think this guardrail of be careful because like you say, you feel invisible and you feel like you can do everything you want with AI. It's good like the AI stop you sometime. I give you an example. So right now we are developing our CRM and um, I asked AI, okay, give me a plan to connect to Gmail. Like this, we can read all the email and to do smarter follow-up. And because I had this prompt of assume every assumption, the AI say, look, before we're gonna go to this rabbit hole, I have to tell you, connecting to Gmail API, it's 3 months of compliance.
Hmm.
So it's technically possible, but we will have lost 3 months of connecting with AI, get all the Google certification, and you need to get recertified in 1 year. And this process actually costs a lot of money. And so just by make sure like, hey, you know more stuff that I know, and because the AI question like, why do we need to connect to Gmail? It give me like a warning, like, oh, you don't know about this, but it's not as easy as you think. Even if technically it's easy to connect at Gmail, there is a lot of things in the blind spot. And yes, like a blind spot, it's a word I use a lot with AI. Like when we are building a new feature, or I say, give me the blind spot. I we didn't mention in this conversation. Everything, or like in the next few hours, or we're gonna work on this, or next few weeks, or next few months, we're gonna regret because we didn't have like a 360 view. And so yeah, blind spot is like, give me the blind spot on this idea. It's something I follow up constantly with my AI.
I love that. I love that. It's kind of like a you don't know what you don't know type of thing, right? You know?
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh,
That's interesting. All right, I want to do a slight pivot here. You and I obviously we connected in person. The first time that we met was at an expo. We've met a handful of times since then. We've stayed connected. We're obviously helping out with a lot of different real estate things. And I think real estate, along with these events, obviously are just inherently an in-person type of thing, right? Like you can't digitize an actual house, right? So
Absolutely.
there's always that in-person thing. So I'm curious how you think AI is going to continue to insert itself into such an in-person, a physical, kind of landscape, whether it be these events and expos that we're working on, whether it be real estate in general. I'm just curious if you have a prediction for like the next iteration of where it steps into this in-person experience, real estate, whatever it may be.
Let me think.
I know I always hate asking like
Ah,
the future question, but it's a good one.
no, I think what's gonna happen is AI will help us to reconnect because we're gonna be fed up of talking to AI.
Okay. Yeah.
And also it's going after COVID, right? People don't know how to socialize anymore. And I think AI will be like too much of AI and people will get fed up of it and start to do cold call again and going to more events. And so I think the goal of AI is like too much technology will push back human experience again. I think it's what I believe, and I believe a lot in restaurants who don't allow phone and trip or you cannot use your phone or you don't have a cellular network, and I believe it's because too much. It's just too much of technology right now. And the event we go and we met are great because everybody talking, everybody connecting,
Hmm.
everybody experience a moment and not trying to do something.
You're that's it's such a valid point, and this was even before ChatGPT and AI took over. But I love going to stand-up comedy shows. And if
Yeah,
you go to a show in which they're testing out new material before a special, they make you lock your phone in this pouch. They give you this pouch
yeah,
that you can't open until you're leaving. And so I went to go see Kevin Hart, and this was out in San Diego, and there was, let's just say 10, 15,000 people. None of us could access our phone. And I was like, wow, like when's the last time you've been in a room where nobody was on their phone, let alone
yeah.
10,000, 12,000 people? And it was a weird kind of observation. And like everybody was sitting there chit-chatting and having a good time until the show started, of course. But
Yeah,
you're right. Like this was even before AI. So now that AI is becoming even more intrusive into our lives, I think those in-person interactions are going to be more memorable and something that we crave, more as humans.
exactly. Yeah. And it's going back to my point earlier. You don't create memory in front of a phone.
Yep.
You create memory by experiencing something. Like yes, it's great to have a Google Maps everywhere you go in the world, But at the end, I think our parents and grandparents have more story of getting lost in a country they didn't know than, oh, we
Yeah,
find our hotel in 10 seconds. I think there is a value in, having trouble and figure it out.
that's awesome. So my last question before the rapid fire question here is just thinking about you as the co-founder of AIRestate. You've obviously learned a lot since then. Things have changed since then. Let's just say AIRestate didn't exist, and right now you had the idea and you wanted to kick it off and start the business. What would you change knowing everything that you know now?
Oh, you know, I think I wouldn't do it.
Fair enough.
Because like you have an idea, we say, okay, we're gonna make sure like when people search a home online, it's very easy, right? And after you need to connect to the MLS and you got like 100 rules to follow and compliance and
Hmm.
law about each state have a way or agent can promote themselves or not, and and it's never ending problem you didn't know they existed, right? You just say, oh, I just want to do a nice website. Well, it's not that easy.
Yeah, yeah.
You have many stuff on your way. So yeah, like it's good to be naive and a bit stupid sometimes because you do
Yeah,
more than what you would have done if you knew everything.
that's a fair point. And we didn't even jump into compliance and fair housing and all that kind of stuff. I'm sure that's a whole other can of worms when it comes to AI and servicing people across the country and everything like that. So I'm sure
Oh
that that
yeah,
certainly offered some challenges.
of course.
Um, all right, cool. So I have five rapid fire questions for you. Some are a little bit silly just to have some fun, but I always start off with if right now you snapped your fingers or there's a genie in a bottle and it could grant you a wish, and one process was just fully automated beginning to end, what would that be?
I think what we have like automate like the sorry, I restart from. I think engineering was the big bottleneck for me because engineering it was like a complete black box. Or you ask something, you want to design it, and 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 it takes so much time to execute. And right now, I think it's a problem solved. Like AI can literally code for you, and I think it's great. It was the biggest frustration in my life before, and now it's not.
Makes perfect sense. Makes perfect sense. All right, number two. I don't know if you're familiar with Joseph Campbell, but he talks about the hero's journey, and in every story, there's the hero who has this aha moment, this call to action.
Yeah.
I'm curious if you had an entrepreneurial moment that made you be like, yes, now I do want to start my own business, or I want to go out and do my own thing. Did you have a aha moment like that?
Not really. I never. It was never a decision for me to be an entrepreneur. It was, forced into me when I didn't fit anywhere.
Fair enough.
So it's kind of, entrepreneur choose me, and I didn't choose to be an entrepreneur.
I like that. All right. You are just from our conversations, I know you travel a lot. You bounce around internationally as well as within the country. I'm curious if you have one international, skip America, one international dish that everybody should try.
Oh, I think going to Japan and experience kind of any kind of food in Japan
Okay.
is absolutely incredible. Um, you will have like incredible gastronomic, very expensive sushi place, or you will say, "Oh, it's like this sushi are supposed to taste," you
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I remember my first week in Japan, and I went back from work very, very late, and I have every restaurant were closed, and I went to a 7-Eleven and I grabbed some snack, and I was like, "Oh my God, this is so great!" Like so. Yeah, go to Japan, explore the food.
Imagine that. Natural foods without preservatives. Who could have thought?
Yeah.
All right. I don't know if you're much of a sports guy or a soccer guy, but the World Cup is starting. I'm curious if you have a prediction.
I don't follow soccer at all, so
Okay.
I don't even know which team exists or not. I'm a Formula One guy, so I'm.
Okay. What's the next race that's coming up? Is there anything? I actually don't know
Uh,
much about racing.
well, I think it's Barcelona, yeah, like Spain or something like this. You
Okay.
know, what I really love about Formula One is the it's a sport, so the athletes are amazing, but it's a mix between strategy and business as well as not only the driver are incredible people. They need to train like crazy. They are truly great athlete, but the business around it and the strategy is what make me the most excited about the sport. So
Interesting, interesting. A couple months ago, I watched my first race, and I was more impressed than I thought I would be. I've just never been a racing guy, but I agree. Like seeing and like they have the cameras in the car and everything like that. It's
yeah,
very
yeah,
interesting when you get under the hood, if you will.
definitely.
Cool. Question number five, last rapid fire question. Do you have any hidden talents?
Oh, I don't think so.
No?
No, no. I'm. I have a talent to. I'm a Larry David for that. I have a talent to see what's wrong in every single part of my life. So I
Just a
think
tough critic.
yeah, I mean, even you go in a restaurant and everything is great, I will notice and amplify the one thing went wrong. So I don't know if it's a talent, but it's something unique about me, I feel. Not a lot of people share that vision of the world, and I think it's a curse. It's not a talent.
No, no, no. We're calling it a talent. It's a talent from now on. That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we're at the open forum section here. I always just like to see, is there anything that maybe we didn't discuss that you find is very important, whether it's around AI, around business, just anything that you're passionate about that you'd like to share?
At the end, everything we do in life, and it's about human experience, right? So I love AI and I really enjoy working with AI. But if you don't, it's completely fine. Just try to find where stuff are fun and joyful and focus on building something great. I think it's the most underrated and important thing in business.
It's a beautiful way to end the episode. I love that.
Amazing.
So everybody can find you, Martin, on LinkedIn. I know you have some other social medias that people can find. AIRestate.io is the organization that we've been discussing. Any other things you want to plug or get out there?
No, all good. Thank
Awesome.
you. Thank you so much. It was a great talk. A very nice moment with you.
It's great to connect. Obviously, we're chatting all the time about different stuff, so we'll be in touch soon. But I really appreciate you joining me on the Brainiac Blueprint. If you don't mind, take a look at the camera and just say, "Stay brilliant, Brainiacs."
Stay brilliant, Brainiac.
Awesome. Thank you, dude. I
Amazing.
appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Talk to
Take
you
care.
soon.